time, what new possibilities will you create? Today's guests will share their story and provide insight. From my network to yours, let's get to it.
I'm Captain Mowbray, author, motivational speaker, career consultant. When you have a mental game plan for change, you're ready for anything.
So I'm going to say that again. Live in the present moments with a present mindset. Let's put it there. If you're giving energy to things that don't serve you, your light field is being depleted.
Listen to understand. It helps you understand the other mindsets.
Fiction books are fun to me because they're able to take you out of the world, which is why I like to read them.
I am Ron T. Young. I'm a actor, photographer, director, graphic designer.
And so for me, I decided a long time ago that I wanted good memories. But I didn't know that this was what I was going to be doing. I did know I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I did not know what that meant. I did.
Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
What's going on, boss? What's going on? What's going on? How you feeling?
I'm good. How you feeling, man? How you liking
It's good. Yeah, it's good.
So, JStyles, tell me about yourself. Let's post know who you are, man.
I'm Jamil Shabazz, also known as JStyles here in Seattle, owner of JStyles Barber Shop, father, proud husband, happy husband, more importantly.
Yes.
Just a happy individual.
Tell me more about that. What makes you happy, man?
For sure.
A lot of folks are having a harder time finding happiness in these eras. They sit at home, they feel trapped. They feel trapped in their career, they feel trapped in their life. They feel they can't do like a lot of things, and they can't seem to recenter back to gratitude. How you doing, man?
Well, when I was listening to your cousin, he's over there in California, 90-degree weather.
I know.
It's easy to smile when the sun's out,
Yeah.
But I live by the philosophy of creating your own sun.
Yes.
And so, happiness is inside. There's a lot of people in my life, a lot of people that I know, a lot of people that I see that are chasing happiness.
Yeah,
they think that it lies. They think that it exists somewhere outside of them. And not just them, myself also, we look for instant gratification in things, and we find things and do things that make us happy, whether it's small stuff, food, our spouses, our children, money, it's anything that we do. So I try to always stay conscious and aware, of what's going on inside of me. Continue to try to work on that.
Yeah.
Because all those things will fail you in the end. And, you never want to give up on yourself. And so I value life, which is, as long as I'm breathing, I'm happy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, like when somebody calls me, people comment all the time. They say, man, every time I call you talk about you doing excellent. Well, that's the truth. I could have cancer or be on my deathbed. As long as I have breath, I'm okay. And then if I don't have breath, I feel like I'm okay, because I feel like I prepared myself to go on to the next life.
That's so important, man. I mean, that's so important because to your point is being present and taking action makes you feel that sense of calm, right? And
right.
And I think where I'm me, we chat all the time. I'm always coming with a smile, and I tell people, I recognize both sides. I always see people like miss the point of, hey, it's trouble. There's trouble spots in life, but I always try to see the learnings. What I learned from that experience, what I learned from that shit, if you may, that can continue to power me forward. That's how I focus. It, not just stay stuck. A lot of times we get stuck in our head and think the world's over and becomes our reality, and we don't go nowhere.
Right.
So how you managing this, man? You got a shop, you're a business owner. Obviously it's impacting your business. How's it impacting, and what's opening up for you?
Well, it's impacting me like it's impacted everybody from a couple different perspectives, socially, economically. But again, if we go back to what happiness is, and life, we find the goodness And you know, one of my fundamental beliefs also is that God's in control, and His plan is always the best plan. So, you know, you look at this time, and I mean, I'm gonna just be honest with you. I work a lot. I work a lot. I'm on my feet a lot. Anybody who knows me, I'm cutting hair 12, sometimes 15 hours a day. Whew. And I started to, you know, then I'm getting older too, right? So I started to have, you know, that you know, you go through stages. So when you turn 25, all of a sudden your body does something you didn't know it was gonna do. Then when you get 30, it does something. Then when you get 35, it does something else. So I'm going through that. When your body gets 40, whatever that is, you know, you just start aching and just start
we're not
muscles.
40. Get out of here. We're not
muscles you didn't know you had just start hurting, right? But so I started having feet problems, man, in my varicose veins and all this stuff that, you know, you just going through these pains. But so this is giving me a break, really.
Wow.
From all of that. I mean, it's giving me a little glimpse into. I've always been planning for my retirement. This will give me a little glimpse into retirement.
Ho.
I know.
You can't retire anytime soon, man.
I know. It's tough. It's tough. I know it's tough.
I'm being selfish right here. I mean, no, ain't no time.
Well, I was thinking about that, right? What I might do is I might do a lottery. You know, when you retire,
40, I'm 44. I'm accepting 40.
You said 40.
I'm 44. Yeah. I'm accepting. I'm in it.
I might do a lottery, man, and take and do a drawing and take, you know, the top picks out of the hat, maybe, and just still cut them. You know.
Excuse me. Can I buy?
Yeah, we're gonna figure something out. I'm gonna figure something out. I'm gonna figure it out. Yeah. So this give me a little glimpse into that. You know, the financially definitely taking a hit. I mean, you know, when you all of a sudden abruptly you take a big chunk out of your monthly income. That's always, you know, gonna take. But you know, preparation is something that we all need to take a little more serious. So the
Talk
more
about that a little bit. That's so true.
But yeah, this has exposed a lot of the people who have prepared or those who have had a lack of preparation. It's exposed. I mean, you know, we don't know exactly where this is going. But I mean, you know, if this lasted for 2 years, then obviously, I don't know who's prepared for that. But, you know, 3 months, 6 months, you know, and for those of us who are economically competent, have a little bit of knowledge in finances, if you will, have had jobs for a number of years, then we know better. We know we should have a little bit of money saved up, you know, but the numbers don't support that. And talk about the average family, the average working class individual, you know, has a little bit of money in the bank, so forth and so on. But for myself, it's been a blessing to have a little bit of, you know, money saved. Well, I don't have to stress so much. I've been able to be free. And I mean, you know I got my family to worry about, but, you know, I mean, if this thing went all the way into the dirt, I mean, you know, I could live out of my car, you know.
Man.
You know what I mean? But I mean, I like spending time with family. We got about 15 projects going on in the house. You know,
oh my gosh.
You know how that is. We putting pictures up, man. We read, you know, as much as we can. I'm not a contractor or anything like that, but you know, we get in the backyard situated. We building stuff. My son was out there today building a fire rack for the firewood. Because we have one. And we had a little makeshift something already, but you know, the little things that you noticed every single day only take about 30 or 45 minutes to do, but you just don't have time.
So true, man. Or we're racing our day, not being present, moving about.
Yeah.
And we miss these little. I was in my house, and I was like, man, for the first time, I actually feel at home. Besides the pandemic, was gentrification in your area an issue? And do you think it will take advantage of this?
Oh, of course. Gentrification is an issue all over the United States, and this, I noticed something. I bought my second house in 2005, and that's when they were just giving loans away. You didn't have to qualify for anything, stated, all that other kind of stuff. And it was then that I recognized a friend of mine sold me the house. After he sold me my house, he got out of the game, and I was asking him why he quit. He said he just couldn't continue to take advantage of people. I didn't look at real estate like that. He was an agent. And I said, what do you mean? He was explaining to me how he was getting people in these bad loans. People didn't have the money, and they were buying these homes, and he just saw the future for people. And so it was then that I realized that when you hear words like recession, when you hear words like pandemic, when you hear words like, crash and all these things, it means different to different groups of people. So the recession means, make a lot of money to the wealthy and those that can take advantage of the situation. Time like this, where prices are dropping for a lot of different things. There's people who can't afford a lot of different. It's time to take advantage of the weak for those who want power, want to maintain, want to control things. And so gentrification, it hit hard. You being from Philly, Philly looking like a third world country in some places, and so they come in there. They was in Philly, Detroit, in places like that where they selling homes for $1 and $10 and stuff.
Crazy,
people coming there. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So the pandemic, gentrification, all these things, those who want to take advantage will take advantage. They will continue to take advantage. They will capitalize on these opportunities because there are people out there who just, they're in times like this, they become needy. They become dependent, more dependent. And so they can't, they don't really have any skin in the game. They don't have to say so. And so
I would say
it's sad.
Yeah, give me your thought. I'm seeing it was even crazier. It's a global lens. What I mean by it now is we got countries making deals with countries. That's something to pay attention. Like weed through the conversations that we're weeding through, and really pay attention because right now, people are distracted and focusing on COVID-19, rightfully so, and I get that. But they focus on the noise around COVID-19, and they're missing laws being passed and things are being changed and money being washed through. Right. To your point, because of perceived desperation, laws being written and so forth, and money to move in an aggressive way, taking advantage of this period. You're right. I mean, and I'm seeing it in our country. We're seeing other countries. We're seeing how other countries react. It's literally rinse and replay. The same thing we see that happens in our neighborhood is happening on a global scale at a fast pace. That's nerve-wracking.
You brought up the global thing. I wanted to ask you a question to see what your take is, because I've been thinking about this, and it's hard. It's tough sometimes to watch television because as happy as an individual as I am inside, sometimes you watch television, man, it can just start to dampen your spirit, and they pump so much fear through the media right now. But Africa as a continent, right? It didn't hit Africa as hard as it hit a lot of other places. So, I was asking some of my brothers that are from Africa, from Western Africa especially, and I was asking them why they think it didn't hit. And no one really knows. They don't know. I saw some stuff on social media. They were, promoting these natural remedies to strengthen your immune system and all that stuff. But I was thinking about how, and this is just a thought.
And the largest continent in the world, right?
The largest continent in the world. And now the largest continent, not only largest continent in the world, but the continent that needs the most outside help. Yeah. But now you think about Africa, and what you have is, it is in the desolate, needy places, it is highly concentrated with so-called assistance from the Western world, vaccines, heavy, you know. We know the Bill Gates has he's got his full operation over there, right? Yeah. And then you got all these other people that have came in there, and the government has allowed them to set up shop and to operate however they're going to operate. So, you know, what's that all about? I like to see people's take on that, because that's interesting, to say the least.
Yes, and it's very interesting. And there's a lot of traffic that comes through Africa daily basis, and a lot of you would hear say that's how the U.S. got impacted. You know, Seattle, where we at, because the traffic between us and China, and then New York with Italy, you hear that too. I'm like, well, to your point, it's a lot of traffic to Africa, and still seem to, and you see it. And I'm also interested too of how CDC is trying to capture information, you know, about race and so forth. Like, trust me, this COVID-19 is not biased at all. But I am intrigued about where it's concentrated and where we took less proactive measures. And I actually saw some really good videos from folks from Africa that are being asked. Doctors are being sourced and asked about how to treat COVID-19 and what's happening, and it would give them perspective. So for me, it's like a lot of brilliant genius minds are coming from Africa, and we're leaning to them for guidance and perspective, which is also not heavily communicated on TV. So I've been blessed to have a pretty strong African community around me, especially in Seattle. And as a result, I'm part of this WhatsApp group that's probably over 100 of us connected. I think it's actually all guys, 100 plus guys, all from different parts of Africa, all connected, and we just talk about everything. Obviously, this has been center of the conversation, and it's been shared about just how they've managed the pandemic and how they kept it small. So I am intrigued. That goes back to being conscious and viewing and hey, YouTube is good. Look at YouTube University, I call it, you know, to get insight from there and other sources beyond just relying on you know, the TV or the daily alert from our president. That should not be your only source. Please don't let it be your only source of information. Right. To get updates. So man.
Yeah. And I'm also interested. You brought up the numbers, the reports. You know, they're saying that the COVID-19 is disproportionately affecting the African American community. And you know, you can look at that a couple different ways, but you know, some people have conspired that this is these are false reports. But then you go and it's not affecting. If it's affecting people, let's just say melanated people, but it's not affecting the continent of Africa, but it's affecting the people here. You know, one could conclude that, you know, it's our lack of, I'm not going to say hygiene, but our lack of diet, you know, our unhealthy diet, one could say that. And so we have all this predisposed conditions, one could say that. You know, a majority of us fall below the poverty line, one could say that, one could conclude. But then one could also conclude that these are just false numbers. And they're blowing these numbers up. But then you fast forward until, you know, a couple of days ago, and they are announcing that they're going to open back up in some states, the barbershops and the nail salons, where a majority of the African Americans frequent. So if this thing is not under control, then they're going to open up the hair salons and the nail salons, but they're not gonna open up the hospitals. Like that's not the first thing they're gonna open up. Is the start with the essential businesses and open them up first, you know? So, yeah, it just makes you think.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying either or. I'm just it definitely makes you think. But to the original question that we were talking about is, you know, who's going to take advantage of these situations? You know, is this thing, are they playing this? When you watch movies, right? We watch a lot of movies. When you watch movies, usually anytime there's a global crisis, the movie will signify some, will portray some form of unified front with humanity, right? Yeah. It'll transcend race, gender, religion, it'll transcend all these things. Everybody will unify and come together. Well, later on in the movie, you'll see that there were some people who wanted control that had ulterior motive. It's like that in superhero movies. It's like that in all these movies, right? So why would anything be different in a situation like this? This is what I conclude. So, when you were talking to, that was your cousin, right?
Yep.
When you were talking to your cousin, you were talking about being present, and what that means. And I substitute the word present for being two words. Being conscious, and being intentional.
Yes.
Being conscious and being intentional.
Yes.
So in a time like this, just to sit back and to put your hands down and to just say, well, you know, I'm just going to use this as a vacation, then you're allowing the same things that have been done to us before this happened. Because regardless of what anybody wants to say, I've always maintained that the largest religion in the world is consumerism.
Correct.
And whatever you profess your religion to be, you suffer from consumerism also. You know, that's what we practice more than we practice anything, right? If you say that religion means way of life. So, you know, just some thoughts, you know, in these times, things that I'm thinking about.
Man, no, that's all was, yes, you're hitting, especially being conscious. And folks I see in here is people, and I love it. I'm so glad JStyles. I knew you pumping some thoughts in here, because some people, when you're just moving. So two ways I take it. You're not being present. You're constantly chasing a fake future, right? It doesn't exist. So you, the world's come to an end. Well, okay. All right, or looking backwards to things that kept them trapped, and their mind is trapped there, and they can't move forward because they're trapped. In both instances, they're not conscious. They're living in subconscious, or they're living in anxiety. It doesn't exist. So I'm glad you mentioned that part. And the other part I worry about is people feel paralyzed, meaning that, well, I've been told to stay home. I don't know digital. I don't know live stream. I don't know computers, and they start going down. Also, they don't know. And they take no action. If anything, the only action they are taking is the worryation that they too may be affected while they sit at home going nowhere, right? And they get and in my case, I described it 2 sessions ago. It's like standing on you're in the airport and you're on that skywalk thing that pulls your head. It's like standing in the wrong direction. Now you stand still right now, and it's going wrong. You actually are further behind than you were before this all started. If you're not taking steps right now, look at yourself in the mirror, becoming conscious and being present. What's open up for you? You are already way behind than you were 2 weeks ago. So I'm glad you share that. What's your reaction to that? That's how I feel.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, that's it right there. You know, you talk about stagnation. You know, intentional intent is should be the driver for human beings. Should be all about intent. And then every aspect of life that you study, with the exception of a couple theories, it's all about intention. Yeah, it's all about intention. It's about the deliberate decision, the conscious decision that a human being makes to push forward, really. And so what you have, like, you know, some of us have family members, you know, they live a certain lifestyle, and maybe they get sat down. That's what term we use when somebody goes to jail.
Yeah,
now you got a lot of time. Now you got a lot of time on your hands to
Yep,
reflect on yourself, to work on yourself, you know, to do these things. Now, this is just by default, right? It's not, you don't go, when you get caught if you're doing something, you get caught, you don't say, I'm getting ready to go work on myself. But when you sit down, you have time to think.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now you're forced to stay home. As we say in my house, the white man that told you to take a break, time out, right?
Yeah.
Now I know that, you know, we could blame this on the pandemic or whatever, but the reality is, a lot of us would still be functioning if we weren't ordered to stay home. So what are you doing in this time? Are you reflecting? Because you have time. Are you reflecting? And like I said earlier, it's exposing a lot of people. It's exposing the good in you. It's exposing the bad in you. You know, a lot of us were saying, well, I wasn't getting in shape because I didn't have time, or you know, I wish I could spend more time with my kids, but I don't have time. Now that the pandemic is here, you have people who are not spending time with their kids, not working out, not eating better, not accomplishing the goals that they wanted. But then you have people who are. So the people who aren't, what's your excuse now?
I was working out earlier, and people are like, oh, my gym is closed. Like, yeah, your gym is closed. Okay. What came before gym? You got 2 arms. Be blessed. Gratitude. Right? Yeah. Work out in your house. I literally asked my friends, how do some good home workout? And then one gave me a whole program of what you can do with no weights. Right? Other one gave me a video, quick video show how you can tie a sheet in your door. When you're determined, there's no excuses, man. You take action. And the one that you do not want to happen now is have your immune system get weak. If you're not staying healthy, you're not working out, you actually you go in the other direction. Your immune system was strong on day one, and you sit in the house doing nothing, you're just getting weaker and weaker every day. Eating bad food, putting garbage in, not working out, making you more immune. So when it open back up, you have less defense around you to protect yourself than you did 3 or 4 weeks ago. For someone who is stuck in fear right now, what would you recommend they read or watch? Good one.
For someone who is stuck in fear?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I would recommend that the individual who is stuck in fear, that they find the definition of fear first.
Yeah.
And I mean that because fear, as fear is real, but what does fear mean for some people, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes fear for the individual who is promoting the fear can mean control. It can mean control, and fear for the individual who's living in fear, stuck in fear, it can mean bondage.
Yes.
I see that very common, and what ends up happening is that you end up not being in control if you are stuck in fear. So for myself, I start to eliminate the fear tactics formed against me. And so, you know, watching all that television, all that news, I start identifying the things that are directed towards me, trying to promote fear and incite fear. And I start to eliminate those things. But I say there's a lot of documentaries that are out right now. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube. I would recommend that you watch something that is geared towards how to fight against the pandemic.
Yeah.
So right there, just that alone, you start to talk about defeating whatever is trying to attack you, right? And what you find is directly what you were just talking about, is that the worst thing you can do right now is to sit at home and, what I like to say, is deteriorate, right?
Yes.
But we all went through it because we thought in the beginning, we were like, oh, this is a vacation, I don't have to go to work. So we picked our favorite 3 or 4 shows on Netflix that we need to catch up on.
Yeah.
we was at home, and now we got to cook, right? So we started getting creative in the kitchen, started making all these desserts and trinkets and special meals that we never ate before. And then we weren't getting any sleep. You take those three teams and combine them, and now all of a sudden, you're just a walking host for any virus or any disease, and right now you don't want to have exactly, and you don't want to have a cold, you don't want to have anything right now because you're scared yourself. Then you'll really be living in fear while you're sitting there with the sniffles thinking you got the COVID-19. You don't want to let nobody know because you still want to go to the store or whatever. But so we have to do some things that are encouraging our self-worth, inside of us. They're building up that strength inside of us, our mental, our physical, and our spiritual too. Yes. Speaking of spiritual, for all those people who are watching, we're on the eve of Ramadan is coming up. Tonight. For some people, it may have already started. Like some of my family in the East Coast. Yeah.
Yeah, 10:37.
So it starts at night.
At nighttime after the meal, right? Yep.
Yeah, so it starts at nighttime when the sun goes down. So, yeah, this should be the first day for some.
About that. Yeah.
Yeah, Ramadan. Yeah, it's a international. It's a globally practiced. It's an exercise that is practiced by Muslims, of which there are over 2 billion Muslims in the world. Really, it goes right along what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You fast, you're fulfilling an obligation. It's one of the 5 pillars of our religion. It's you're fulfilling an obligation. But the average individual from the outside looking in, they see a lot of people not eating.
Yeah.
And the word fast meaning to not eat. But the word fast just doesn't reference food. The word fast, means to restrain. And so during this month, we restrain from those things that appeal to our physical selves. They appeal to our desires. And desires are not always bad. Contrary to some, most people think about desires. You think about, lust, you think about food, you think about the things that but we as human beings have the ability to desire, to want good also.
Yeah.
So during the daylight hours, we abstain from even the things that are good for us. For instance, me as a married man, me and my wife as adults, we fast. We abstain from physical contact with each other.
Wow.
You see? Now there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But and just like there's nothing wrong with eating. You actually scientifically need to eat to stay healthy. But you abstain from those things. As it says in the Quran, which is the book that Muslims read, fasting was prescribed for you so that you may learn self-restraint. And so the average person who's not a Muslim, if they see a Muslim fasting, they'll say, hey, if you can do that, you can do anything.
I saw a question pop up asking, have you seen anything changing as a result of the pandemic, as far as this period here, fasting, open up, or to your point, how you see it impacting and from your perspective, going through this period of Ramadan now with the pandemic at the same time?
Oh man, I mean, every year Ramadan poses a different challenge.
Yeah.
Now, usually because productivity is highly promoted in the religion of Islam, you don't stop working or stop being productive and stop being a provider and things like that. So that's highly promoted. But now, because we're forced to stay home, to be honest with you, I know for me, to be able to get some sleep throughout the day, you're talking about 14-hour days. Now that doesn't really, because it's different. I fasted throughout the whole season because it changes. But to be able to take a nap, I'm looking forward to being able to read and make all of my prayers and do all the things that I need to do, and get some rest though, because usually I got to go to work and I still got to push forward. And not getting rest has been a challenge of mine all these years. So this year, I don't know how. I know there's going to be another challenge.
Yeah.
Eating has never been eating stopped
Yeah.
being my challenge
Yeah.
years ago. You know, it's always been something else. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man.
Looking forward to it.
What's up? I'll ask you a question. How do you stay connected? How you stay engaged? Life. I tell you, we cross a lot of people. You know, what's your means staying connected and staying engaged?
Well, at home, staying connected, staying engaged. We got all these projects, you know, and my dad keeps quoting. He saw on one of these social media outlets, and somebody had posted something. They said, with this pandemic, now that everybody has to stay home, parents are finding out that their kids' teachers wasn't lying.
Yeah.
Right. So waking my kids up, trying to tell them, look, you got to do something. We got to get something going. So trying to continue to have projects, trying to have conversations with them, talk to them, trying to exercise my patience. I like to pride myself on having patience, trying to exercise my patience. But, we do things together, man. We're cooking together. We playing games. We
That's the
having
cool part.
Yeah, doing all this.
Patience is key, man. Because all we doing is seeing each other every day. You're here.
Yeah.
Like, we were surviving before.
Yeah. Now.
And kids like, why you here? I was liking my school. Could got away from you guys. Now
right.
All day getting lectured from my mom.
Yeah.
We don't think about this sometimes.
No, we don't. But I've been getting my breaks though. I've been working out. We've been working out here.
Good,
I got a call. I'm exposing myself a little bit. I got a call today from the owner of my CrossFit gym, because I was going down there. I pretty much moved the whole CrossFit gym in my house, and he called me. He called me today. He was like, "Hey, was you at the gym taking some more equipment?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, what did you take?" And I was telling him stuff. He was like, "Oh yeah, we wasn't allowing people to take that stuff out of the gym. I got everything." So I'm gonna call him and talk to him, make sure he's not upset at me though. But yeah.
As long as you put in the work, you put in the use, you good.
But so we've been doing that stuff, man, keeping people occupied. But outside of the house, to be honest with you, that's one of the problems that I have, staying connected with my friends but I was really, and I don't know if I'm making excuses. Probably am. I don't know. But working at the barbershop, I talk to so many people every day. That's all I do is talk to people. We have full conversations. I gotta be a social scientist. I gotta remember at least one thing about every individual that sits in my chair all the time. I gotta stay up to date. I got some clients that I've been cutting for 10, 15, 20 years. I ask them the same questions every time they sit down. Every time they have a seat, I ask the same questions. And they ask it, and they be like, "Man, I've been told you that, man." Like, I was like, "Well, how?" I was like, "Well, hey, didn't you just have a baby?" They're like, "Man, she's 15 now." And I'm like, "You ask me that every week, I sit down." But I try to stay up on things with everybody. But with that being said, sometimes it's hard keeping in touch with like my family. I got a lot of family, out of state, East Coast, West Coast. I got a lot of family down south, whatever. And so I'm not really the guy to pick the phone up and call everybody. Man. Every now and again I text, And so here's what ends up happening. Here's how that backfires. When you text when you don't call at all, people accept the fact that you're not a good communicator. So then they may call you. When you only text every now and again, people get mad at you because it's like, well, you only text me every now and again. So it's almost like an all or nothing situation.
Oh, I get caught that all the time. To me, it's like, oh, now you text, or worse, oh, I hate iPhones. You text or someone replies back, and for some reason I missed that they replied back. Maybe my phone was at the time. So especially like right now. and then I don't actually see it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the worst. But hey, let me pop a question up for you too. Some good ones came in right now. Oh, Famia, can you share a prayer to help us all tap into our power of self-discipline? Good one, Mia.
Well, that's simple.
Yep.
Whatever, if you believe in a higher power other than yourself, you ask for the strength to help you tap into your power for self-discipline. Simple. Simple.
Say it again, man.
You ask your creator, the creator, to help you with the strength to tap into your power for self-discipline.
So true.
That's it. And I also encourage you to Ramadan's coming up, try it for a day. Yeah. Everybody got somebody they knows them. Or like you said, you can go on YouTube University. Everybody knows somebody. If you don't know somebody, you know me now. Just join in for a day with somebody, and see how you enjoy it. I encourage you.
So now, true,
now, fasting also, as this is the Muslim, Ramadan is the month that the Muslims fast, but it's every religion fast though. Jews, true. Christians, every religion fast. So it's nothing foreign. So I encourage that.
What tip do you have for your self-discipline? How has fasting impacted your spiritual when it comes to awareness?
Self-discipline, what tips do you have? I got one for you. One of the tips that I have for self-discipline is looking ahead. What do I mean by looking ahead? Now, me personally, I'm a runner. Like, I can run for long distances. And you need self-discipline to run. You need physical and mental, spiritual. You need all the strength in the world when you run. Because you get to a point where you want to turn back, where you want to quit because it hurts. I remember when I ran a marathon one time, I got to a certain point where my whole body just went numb. So the only thing that was alert was my mental. Everything else was shut down. I couldn't feel my feet moving or anything, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to tap into that. But I looked ahead to the finish line. So when you look ahead, and like I even look ahead till now, I say in a year from now, I'll look back at this and say, I'm glad I did that. So what ends up happening is if you get past that point the one time, then it builds up that muscle up, that mental muscle. And so the next time you set out for whatever it is that you need to discipline to do, here's one. Sugar, right? I believe that 99% of all human beings are addicted to sugar. Our parents got us hooked on sugar when we were kids, right? I went almost a year. I think the longest I went without eating sugar was probably I was like a month or something shy of a year. The way I did that was looking ahead a year, saying that I think I started like on January 4th. I said by next January 4th, I can say to myself that I didn't eat sugar for a year. Now, it's because it's a drug, you have to treat it as it's a drug. So you have to take it one day at a time. But even within that, you have to look to the next day and say, I'm not going to do it today. No matter what, I'm not going to do it today. Because you're going to have cravings, you're going to want to give in, right? Same with Ramadan. Same with Ramadan. The purpose has to be bigger than you. That's another one also. The purpose has to be new. With Ramadan, the purpose is God. It's God's command. It's God's command on you to do that. So you're not doing this. You're doing it for yourself, but you're doing this for God when you're fasting for Ramadan. So it has to be bigger than you. What's another tip? Because it's painful, right? Usually when you're trying to accomplish something and it takes a lot of discipline, it's painful. Whether it's not eating something or getting in the gym or going to college, everybody has had to exercise some type of discipline at some point in time in their life where they had to get through it. But then you could even compare it to something like breaking a leg or something, right? Now, you didn't necessarily intentionally break your leg, but when you went to that accident, it was painful. You had to go to the hospital. You had to have surgery. You had to get shots. You had to recover. And you look back on when you broke that bone, it was 3 to 6 months or 9 months of pure pain, right? But you got through it, and now here you are healthy, and you have a smile on your face. You see, no big deal. So if you had to go through something again, you could compare it to that and say, I'm going to get through this, and when I come out on the other side, I can look back and the pain will be gone.
So true.
Right.
So wow.
There's in that part with this, there's a in our religion, there's a saying that says, with every hardship comes ease. With every hardship comes ease. So if you're going through something that's a struggle, then it's guaranteed that there will be ease on the other side.
That's so important here right now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so important for people here. Wow, it's important. People, you're going through a lot in different facets. Losing loved ones that can't be there for, to losing their job, being furloughed, and so forth. It's just a lot. So yeah, when you share that, man, that's a big one, man. That's huge. I one thing I always say, one of my quotes I wrote, and I still have posted, I think, on my Instagram page, and definitely my Facebook page, is the power of vision drives me forward. And when I heard you speaking, that's something that keeps me anchored down as well. As the power to look forward and see the possibilities. And I like how you outline it too, and I can say it another way, is when you see that possibility and a vision, they know if you put a year or 6 or 12 months later, you're gonna have breakthroughs in between. Like you said, it hurts, you're gonna fall, but what you don't do is stay in that pain. You figure out, okay, I'm having a breakdowns. I have breakdowns. Okay. So then you have breakthroughs, right? And you constantly fight towards that possibility, that vision. And I tell people all the time, it's important to not just stay in that low, but say, what do I do to anchor back up to get back to that possibility? You're not going to be seamless. Oh, I'm going to go from A to B. And like folks today want instant results. Some things are instant, but short-lived. But those pain points in between to get you to your end. The bigger the vision, the more breakdowns you're going to have in between. In a lot of cases, the bigger the breakdowns you're going to have in between. And you just realize that, and you muscle through. So you demonstrate that heavily, and I'm sure in different facets, your own business, highs and lows there, to life, family, home. Ask him where he first started cutting hair. It's your inside scoop.
I first started cutting my hair. I remember my mom used to give me $20 to go get my hair cut every week. And
she said it too.
and my dad was like, "Man, you could save that money, And I was like, "Well, how am I gonna get my hair cut?" He said, "Well, you got some clippers?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Well, go grab a mirror and have a seat real quick." And he took me through this tutorial. I think I was in the 7th grade maybe. And he took me through a tutorial in front of the mirror about 3 or 4 times. And then because I always could draw and do designs, and then so I did that a few times, and people started seeing me coming to school with designs, and they probably were crappy, but them kids in the neighborhood, I was living in Skyway at the time, kids in the neighborhood wanted to start coming to the house, and was doing designs, probably taking 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, whatever,
Like hairline parts and stuff?
Yeah, burn marks and everything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Then the 8th grade, and then no, I wasn't in Bothell. I was already cutting by then. I already knew how to cut by the time I got out there in Bothell. But I was doing porch cuts in Bothell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were sharing some good perspective, and that's why I wanted to continue to. While I was hearing like just some empowering words, man, and how reading these books and these prior leaders with a legacy. I too got learned a lot when I was in college. So you probably don't even know. When I was in college, I decided to study. Actually, I was taking elective courses. Anyway, at the time, you take these elective courses like in math or whatever. I decided to take the African American Studies. I wanted to learn about myself. and learn more than just, you know, being Black. But what does that mean in my heritage? And so I took so many classes that my professor said, oh, I'm about to start a minor in this. You have enough to do it. And you need to just write a 6-page paper that was 6 credits. So I was like, okay. And it was, I had to write a paper on W.E. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. Do research, tons of book reading, just a lot of content throughout. And I have to admit, man, that experience they still empowers me where I'm at today. I mean, just understanding where such individuals have done and grown, and you see we're still rinsing, repeating, and saying, and today in 2020, the importance of understanding self and the power we have is limitless. Understand what that means, to how we harness that to do good and do better and to be purposeful. I want to make sure you continue your thought you had there too.
I think what we're doing, we were just talking about the motivation, and how the lives of those that came before us push us through. But you know, one of the motivators for myself is that I understand that that's my inheritance. Yeah, I understand that wasn't all for nothing, and so I look at, revere, respect, pay homage to, and honor, not just verbally, but in my actions. I try my best to honor, as they would say, our ancestors, those that came before us, you know. But you know, we say ancestors, but really those are our parents and our grandparents, you know. Yes. And so you can use the word ancestor, but sometimes that can incite a
further distance.
Further distance.
Disassociation. Yeah.
Right. So, but you know,
that's fair.
What was the purpose of these individuals? To carry the torch, but to pass the torch. It wasn't supposed to stop with them. So, I believe that, and I know that in the promotional, what do you want to call it? The ad or whatever, the thing that you put up to promote the
possibilities. Yep.
Yeah. And I was talking about to incite, you know, the original nature, nature in all of us. Yes. And so, what I view as the original nature, contrary to what a lot of us grew up believing, is that we have an original nature of negativity. Like, you know, a lot of us were taught, especially in the church, that we were born sinners. And so with that idea, then it's like, you know, I was designed to do wrong. But it wasn't like we had another side, like you're born with the possibilities of sin, but you're also born with the possibility of doing right. We were just taught that we're born sinners. And then so everything from there, you know. So that's not what I see or that's not what I read, that's not what I hear when I study and research those that came before me. I see the possibilities of greatness. I see the possibilities of empowerment. I see the possibilities of forward progression when you're dealing with the human race. And as an individual who, you know, science has always intrigued me. Science and math, even in school. You know, I might, you know, there were times I'm getting all F's in school, but I got 2 A's, math and science, right? Maybe 3, because maybe PE, maybe. You know. But in science, there's really nothing in creation that supports that doesn't support forward progression. Yeah. There's no species that doesn't support that in their everyday operation. So, you know, you're dealing with even the lowest of the low of animals. You know, a rat per se. You know, we look at a rat as being nasty, but you know, a rat sets out for survival. Yeah. When they leave their area to go get food, to bring it back for their young, and they will fight to protect their young, and it is for the progression. They're going to continuously have babies. You know, then you go to the human being who has the ability to say yes or no, and the rest of the creation just has the ability to say yes. But you look at the human being, and now you got human beings talking about they don't want to have kids.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about on an individual level. I'm talking about groups of human beings who have created and promoted an idea.
Yep.
Yeah, you got some statistically, you have some factions who have a negative birth rate. Like they don't want to, but they have a negative birth rate, and this is getting to my point. They have a negative birth rate, but everything they do is based on longevity of life. So it's a contradiction in human existence, where the ancestors that I was talking about understood that longevity of life comes from passing on their life to the next life.
Yeah.
The physical body's not going to be here any longer, right? So I'm not going to not continue the legacy of my family or my race or my species by not having children, but then say, I just want to live a very long time.
Hello, this is Mr. Rose. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to come back every week for new podcast content. Special thanks to my daughter and her team and all their hard work putting this content together. Be engaged, be aware, be ready, be heard. Thank you.